Oh, hey there. What's up, guys? This is Ryan with Aethix Fitness, and I'm glad to have you guys here with me today in this new series, the Coffee Chat series. That's what I decided to call it about 2 minutes ago. Anyways, this is going to be pretty much a loose talking series of me just literally talking to the camera about my thoughts on random shit that pops up. No filter, just fucking real talk, boys, you know? We're just getting real and raw with it. Just the way I like it. So yeah, today's topic I want to talk about is why I don't drink pre-workout very much, if at all. So it kind of seems like a boring topic right off the bat, but I think it kind of goes a little deeper to an extent. So I went through a phase when I was like 18, when I first started lifting. Shortly after that, I was probably like 19, 20, where I started to kind of get into some supplements and stuff, like from bodybuilding.com and shit back then before they went under, obviously, thanks to Amazon and globalization in general. And, you know, obviously Amazon sells everything cheaper, and having a niche website like that is kind of pointless when you could buy it online cheaper, get it shipped cheaper, etc., etc. But that's a whole other tangent. Anyway, so yeah, I would try like random pre-workouts and shit here and there. Like I think the last time I remember trying was like Craze, which I think I got banned for having like 1,3-dimethylalamine or whatever the fuck it's called, 1,3-dimeth. That's what they always like abbreviate it to be. But that shit was pretty crazy. I remember taking it and being like, dude, this can't be okay to be ingesting this stuff, right? And yeah, they banned it shortly after. But it's pretty funny looking back, dude. Like those days were just nuts in terms of the supplement market. That's a whole other tangent again. But anyways, yeah. So I think that kind of stuck ever since, and I see people who always take pre-workout before the gym, like ritualistically, and like I don't know, I can't help but just be like a little skeptical about what they put in these things. And I'm not like a health freak at all. Like I try to eat healthy. I try to, obviously exercise a lot, do my cardio, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not opposed to taking some substances that are slightly questionable if it seems like it gets you better results. I'm obviously not on gear, but people who want to do that, that's cool with me. Like that's fine. But for me personally, I don't love the idea of just relying on certain substances that could be harmful to your health. If there's not a good trade-off at the very least. That's why I'm kind of like agnostic on that kind of stuff. But anyways, yeah, like I look into the flip side here where it's like other caffeinated sources like coffee, for example, seems to have a lot of life extending benefits, right? Seems to improve cognition in older age, seems to offset dementia and Alzheimer's. It's got the benefit of added antioxidants and things like that, especially if you're just drinking it black mostly. It seems like up to like 4 cups a day or something has benefits. Doesn't seem to negatively affect blood pressure for most people, especially if they're fast caffeine metabolizers, which I'm not really sure what I am, but either way, that's enough evidence for me to think that drinking coffee is actually pretty beneficial. And if there's benefits and it still caffeinates me, then I would choose to drink that over pre-workout, where, I mean, how do you study something like pre-workout where there's all these different types of pre-workout? You don't exactly know what's going in each one necessarily, or how much of each one, if they have proprietary blends, whatever. How do you study that holistically? I don't know. Like you can't really do like a long-term controlled study on supplements that are constantly changing. They're all different, etc. It seems very hard to do. But coffee is kind of, across the board standardized, and they have a lot of evidence that showing that coffee and tea consumption is good. I kind of omitted tea here because I just don't think it's enough caffeine to really get a benefit from the caffeine at the gym. It just, it's not very strong unless you're drinking like, I don't know, what tea is really strong in caffeine, like maybe matcha or like yerba mate or something. I'm not really sure, but it feels like more of a subtle energy thing, whereas opposed to coffee, it's like, I don't know, I definitely feel the caffeine. It definitely hits different than pre-workout, I will say though. Something with different types of pre-workout, it can really get you going, and I like to have a level of caffeine where like I still feel like I'm myself. I'm not like too jittery or too anxious or too over the top. I like to just have like a nice little bump. So another reason why I think coffee is great there. So we're gonna keep these pretty short, but that's basically the reason why I prefer coffee over pre-workout and don't drink pre-workout unless it's maybe like a special occasion with the boys. You know what I'm saying, guys? Yeah, but let me know what you guys think, though. Do you guys drink pre-workout? What's your opinion? Are you with me about this kind of stuff? Or do you friggin' drink pre-workout every day? Do you boof that shit? I don't know. Let me know. All right, guys. Peace out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.